find out what happened. Get your nigger dog in a shotgun to the face, nigger. Wow.
Cool blood delivery.
Film it and tell your superior. Come on.
Yeah,
hey,
JB. We about to drop this shit on the road.
These niggers don't know how to do their job. They should have been here.
Listen.
10 fucking hours from this period. They should have called me and asked me. 9 o'clock they're telling me. So guess what? Now they're getting the nigger treatment. Learn how to do a job, but they can't because they're not white Americans. They're dumb nigger monkeys. They can't even hold a job for longer than 6 months. Look at these retards with tattoos. They can't do anything but be
Yeah.
Look, do you want me to give you my apartment number? Are you security? This is insane. If you live here, find yourself in. So you gonna put me in the choke? Please. I was trying to get you to buzz in to show me you live here. Oh, you are in some shit, man. That's cool. Why couldn't you have just done this downstairs? Here's my apartment. Here's my apartment. Yeah, cool. All right. Why couldn't you just done it downstairs? Are you security? Why should I show you proof that I live here? Why should I show you proof that I live here? Ask the office. There's a problem that I came in here. I don't let people in. You can ask the maintenance. You put me in a chokehold. You put me in a chokehold, man. You're a thief, man. I'm a thief? You're not. I'm sorry, that came out. I didn't mean it. Chokehold. You put me in a chokehold, man. You're a thief, man. I'm a thief? You're not. I'm sorry, that came out. I didn't mean it.
I told her I was sorry. You accidentally punched her in the stomach. Yes. This lady punched my daughter. Accidentally. Yeah, accidentally.
That was no accident. I saw that. I saw it. World Star. I saw it.
She's my daughter. You know what? Punch kids. That's I didn't know you were a kid. What? So you didn't want to touch her? No, I didn't do it on purpose. Stop it. I didn't know she was a kid, but not. Why are you giggling? You just admitted you did it. No, I did not. Yes, you did. You have it on video. I didn't know she was a kid. Okay, what difference does that make? If you touch me, that's okay. No. But you want.
All right, Shalom. Before I begin, I'd like to start out by giving all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ruach HaKodesh, and double honors to the apostles, the elder bishops, and the elders of the great millstone who teach this 100% truth. Peace and salutations to the Lord's elect. All right, that being the house of David. Today is April the 30th, year 2025, the hopeful year of our deliverance, the hour being the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, through the seed of our fathers, all right, as well as judgment and destruction to the so-called self-proclaimed white nation, which they're not white, they're red, and according to the Bible, they go back to Esau, and their nation is the red Hebrew Edomites. All right, so I showed you, what I'm saying, quick couple of clips, all right, of these Edomites, all right, in their Edomite state, all right, which is, you know, that hateful state, all right, towards you Israelites, all right, again, the Israelites being the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans through the seed of their fathers. So you saw those three clips, all right, Esau in the beginning, all right, it's calling Jake niggers and shit, you know, doing all of that, you know, then in the second clip, you had Jake, what appeared to be a Jake going to his apartment, all right, and Evil E didn't think that Jake could afford to live there, all right, so he pressed him about it and then eventually put him in a chokehold, all right, and Jake, you know what I'm saying, caught it on camera, all right, and as Jake is, you know, calling him out for his shit, the devil shows his horns, all right, he blurts out, "You're a thief," And then Jacob's like, I'm a thief. And the devil said, I didn't say that. I didn't mean to say that. Showing you that these devils are the wicked and they hate us. All right. They hate you, Jacob. All right. The third clip. All right. The heavy set Edomite woman. All right. Then swung on the northern kingdom. Israelite woman's daughter. All right. Just showing, you know, these devils hate us. And that's the way the Lord wanted it to be. All right. And if you're in the right spirit and you understand who this devil is, all right, then you got the same feeling for him. All right, now do you act on it that way? Absolutely not, because the scriptures tell us be angry and sin not. All right, the scriptures tell us about he that toucheth Cain, you know, you're gonna get the wrath of the Lord. So you can't just run down on these Edomites like that and think it ain't gonna be no judgment for it. All right, because ultimately, you know, the Lord got them in that position to do what they doing. And that ain't to say you just sit up and let them use and abuse you. You know, the Spirit gonna guide you if you in the truth, you know, to what you got to do to, you know, deal with these devils. But 2/3 of our people, they don't have that discernment. So on any given day, you know, these niggas will whack out on E and kill E, and E will do the same to them, and then they, you know, they get the judgment. So I'm gonna read the scriptures and go through it, Lord willing, to be able to find. I got this in the AI overview pulled up right quick. This Amos 1:11. All right, and this is on Google. So let's see what Google got to say about it. It's a declaration of God's judgment against Edom. All right, and again, Edom today represents you so-called white folks, but you're not white, you're red. All right. It states that Edom will be punished because of his sins, specifically for pursuing its brother Israel with the sword and casting off all pity. All right, because, you know, Esau is a bloody man and he has a hateful, vengeful vendetta toward Jacob. All right, from generation to generation to generation. All right, it says God's anger is described as perpetual, tearing, and his wrath is kept forever. All right, let me see. It said here's a little more detailed breakdown. Thus said the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof. It says this introduces the pronouncement of judgment against Edom, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity. This outlines the specific sin for which Edom will be punished, pursuing Israel with a sword, demonstrating cruelty and lack of compassion. All right, that's you white folks today. And his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever. This emphasizes the intensity and the duration of God's wrath with Edom's actions. All right. And the Lord is going to destroy Esau, you know what I mean? Before he destroys him completely, all right, meaning wiping off all you Edomites, you know, he's going to destroy the Amalekite Edomites, which is the Israeli Edomites over there in their land, and the American Edomites, all right, you devils that dwell over here, all right, all y'all going to die. You know what I'm saying? When the Lord comes back with the host of angels, all right, with him, all right, the host of heaven with him, all right, gonna make war with you nations, gonna take down all the militaries of the earth. All right, but Esau primarily, because he's the face that runs the place, quote unquote, Esau is the end of the world, Jacob is the beginning of it that follow it. All right, Esau's gonna get the biggest ass whooping, all right? His 2 biggest hubs of wickedness, America, all right, and Israel are both gonna be destroyed. And the rest of you Edomites around the world, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna go head first into slavery. All right, those that's left of you. All right, get ready for slavery. All right, and you're going to bring them devils that got destroyed back, all right, in the reincarnation. And then, you know what I'm saying, y'all going to serve out your punishment together. All right, that's the judgment written for you devils. All right. So now let me get this right quick. In Jeremiah 49. Hold on, before I do it that way, let me see. 49 and is it 8? Nah, it's 10. See the AI overview over there. Let me see if they got one. All right, so this is the AI overview of Jeremiah 49 and 10. It states, Yahweh shall power will strip Esau, bare, exposing his hidden treasures and causing him to be completely destroyed. This includes his children, relatives, and neighbors, leaving Edom with nothing and no one left. All right, you know, not necessarily, man. And this time when the Lord stripped Esau, all right, when Esau goes down, all right, he ain't coming back up, all right, because last time, you know, when that devil, when his kingdom fell, all right, the Roman Empire fell, you know, Esau got pushed up into the Caucasus Mountains, all right, for 1,000 years, you know, and that's when that devil went upon his belly. He was living like a beast, all right, braying like horses, you know what I'm saying, and donkeys and shit. Nigga couldn't even, forgot how to talk. He had to be completely re-domesticated to be around humans again, all right? You know what I'm saying? And the Moors, you know, which was Israelites, you know, taught them devils how to wash their nasty red asses again. All right, domesticated them, you know what I'm saying? Like some dogs that they really are. All right, and then, you know, prophecy fulfilled itself, all right? Esau got back on the throne, and that's where he sits to this day. All right, so let me see. It says, here's a more detailed look, stripping Esau bare. This signifies completing devastation and loss of possessions and power. All right, that's coming, E. Wait until Yahweh Shah comes back. All right. Who is this that coming from Edom with dyed garments from Basra, traveling in the greatness of his strength? All right, the Lord coming back to take you specifically off the throne, boy. It say, uncovering his secret places, God will expose everything Edom hid, leaving no place to hide from destruction. Has that not happened? All right, Esau was, you know what I'm saying? He's been made completely bare right here. All right, starting with our apostles, elder bishops, and elders of the great millstone. They didn't put the spotlights on this devil, and he's been made bare going all the way back, you know what I'm saying, to the late 60s, early 70s. All right, you don't know who Esau is today, April 30th, year 2025. It's because the Lord don't want you to know, and man, look, you might get got by that nigga, bro. All right, you don't know your enemy, how you know to defend yourself or protect yourself from him. All right, so let me see. It says, no ability to hide. Even in their deepest caves and hidden places, Edom will be found and destroyed. All right, do you hear that? And that goes into the scriptures as well, because the scriptures tell you, even though they dig into hell, thence will I have the servant bite them. I'm gonna get that right quick. Let me see. They shall dig into hell, but they ain't gonna be able to get away. It say, and the key part right here is, even in their deepest caves, showing you that they're the cave dwellers, the Caucasians. All right, from the Caucasus Mountain. All right, that's you so-called white people today, and these fuckers tried to lie. All right, that Benjamin, not a Jew. All right, tried to say that the sand nigga Palestinians was the Edomites. these niggas don't want to put they don't want to. Let me see how I'm saying. These niggas want to put their identity on everybody, and they don't want to be who they truly are. All right, man, ain't that some shit? All right, it say destruction of family and allies. Edom's children, relatives, and neighbors will be wiped out, leaving him alone. All right, all y'all nations that's joining on to this devil, you know what I'm saying, when you read that Psalms 83, all your military is going to get destroyed. And your nations are going into slavery too. All right, since you wanted to be confederate with this devil, you get to go into slavery with him. All right, and then it says Esau is no more. The prophecy foretells the complete annihilation of Edom, its kingdom, and people. All right, the Obadiah 1:18. All right, that's what's coming to you devils, and even Google knows. All right, so that means these devils know. All right, they might not accept it, but they definitely know it. All right, and it's all for your violence against Jacob. All right, how about that? All right, so I'm gonna do Ezekiel 25:12 right quick. It says Ezekiel 25:12 focuses on the prophecy against Edom, specifically for their actions against Judah. The verse highlights the Lord's judgment on Edom for their vengeful behavior and for their sins against the house of Judah. All right, Judah represents the southern kingdom. All right, so-called Negroes, Haitians, and Jamaicans. All right, but it goes for the northern kingdom as well. All right, because they put their hands on them first. All right, they messed them up too. Talking about when they put us in slavery, they came over here and took them down first. All right, let me say it that way. They came over here and took the northern kingdom down first, and then, you know, years later they located the southern kingdom and brought them over here in what's known as the transatlantic slave trade. All right, so it said here's a more detailed look. Edom's sin. Edom's descendants, descendants of Esau, were accused of taking revenge against Judah, descendants of Jacob. They are condemned for their malice and aggression, going beyond simply rejoicing at Judah's misfortune. All right, it says God's judgment. The Lord declared that he will bring Edom to an end, executing vengeance upon them. This judgment will extend to both man and beast, leaving the land desolate and uninhabited. All right, America is going to be that uninhabited land. All right, only desert creatures are going to dwell here. All right. Future fulfillment, the prophecy indicates that this judgment will be carried out in the future, possibly during the time of the kingdom. According to the verse-by-verse ministry, I already say, distinction from other nations, the punishment of Edom is described as more severe than that of Ammon and Moab, who merely gloated at Judah's destruction. Edom's actions were seen as more grievous, involving actively pursuing Judah with the sword, all right? And he does that to this day. Let me get verse 14 right quick. Oh, shit. My bad, y'all. Hold on. All right. So this is goes into when the Lord is going to use his people, the Israelites, to get the punishment on Edom. It says God declares Yahweh Shemashai's vengeance against Edom, specifically for their rejoicing and taking revenge on Judah. It says God will inflict punishment on Edom, both through his hand and through Israel. So, you know, the Israelites are going to get their hands on you devils. And that goes for this side as well. All right, 2/3 are going to get their hands on you devils cornerly. All right, you know, the Lord is going to use them on the left-hand side to come at you. But the elect, all right, are going to have spiritual power. All right, they're going to have the angels protecting them, all of that. So when they come for you devils and put their hands on you, there's nothing nobody going to do, because the scripture tell you the Lord going to use his people, his men primarily, all right, to break in pieces horse and rider, you know what I'm saying, military officials, everything, all right. You should read, what's that? I think that's Jeremiah 25. It say, God will inflict punishment on Edom through his own hand and through Israel, and the Lord not going to meet you as a man, or he going to meet you, again, on that chariot, so he going to zap you with them laser beams, turn you into red powder, so that they will understand his righteous judgment and anger. This prophecy highlights God's power. I mean, it's like this prophecy highlights God's promise to deal with those who have wronged his people, and will demonstrate his power and justice, all right? And that's what we're waiting for, all right? You know what I'm saying? Yahweh Shai to come back and execute this vengeance, all right? This patience have ye the saints, all right? This is what we patiently waiting for. All right, now it says, here's a more detailed breakdown context. Edom was a nation that took advantage of Judah's suffering during the Babylonian exile, rejoicing in their downfall and participating in their punishment. What's that scripture? Esau, I think say, race it, even to the foundation thereof, O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed. That's what Esau did. All right, it says God's wrath. It says Ezekiel 25:14 states that God will stretch out his hand against Edom, signifying his intervention and judgment. Then it says use of Israel. God will use his people, Israel, as instruments of his vengeance on Edom, illustrating his power and control. All right. It says understanding God's vengeance. The verse emphasizes that Edom will know God's vengeance, meaning they will experience the consequences of their actions and recognize the source of their suffering. Then it says justice and power. The prophecy showcases God's perfect justice and his power to punish those who have wronged his people, ultimately demonstrating his sovereignty and authority. All right, and the scripture tell you that the Lord, Yahweh Shai, is a great king over all the earth. All right, and the scripture tell you the king's hand is in the heart of the Lord. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. He turneth it so wherever so he will. All right, so these devils ain't going off script. They ain't doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? The Lord ain't, you know what I'm saying, prescribe them to do. Everything they do was detailed down to the T. All right. Did this devil further the affliction? Absolutely. All right. But that's why the Lord is going to, you know, be justified in when he wipes all them devils off the earth in that Obadiah 1:18. All right. So that's pretty much it for the lesson, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to make it too long. Just wanted to read some of these AI overviews of a couple of scriptures, all right, dealing with Esau, the judgment coming to Esau, all right, and, you know, let it be known. All right, so Lord willing, it was edifying, flowed together, it made sense. All honor, glory, and praise go to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles, the elder bishops, and the elders of the great millstone who teach us 100% truth. Peace and salutation to the Lord's elect, Kwam Yasharala, and the Bible Ball.